This video is going to be about 11.4, which is about surface area of prisms and cylinders. Now, to find my surface area of prisms and cylinders, let me first learn about what is something that we call the lateral area. Now, the lateral area is when we have a three-dimensional shape, and lateral area is the area of all the faces. Now, faces is the size that's not my basis. So if I look at the shape right here, my lateral area will be all the surface area of all the sides of my prism. That's not the faces. That's the lateral area. It includes only the faces, not the bases. Now, the lateral area, to find the lateral area, all we have to do is that we have to first find my perimeter of my bases. So I'm going to first find my perimeter of my bases, and then I just multiply by the height. And that will give me my lateral area, and it's going to be those areas right here. It will give me what's all the surface areas right here. Okay? Now, please remember this is not volume, so your answer will be n squared. Now, let's talk about surface area. Now, surface area of prisms and cylinders, well, we will do the lateral area, which is pH right here, and we're going to add the area of my bases right here and here. And that will just give me my surface area of the whole prism or cylinder. Now, let's take a few questions to practice. Now, number one here says, what is my surface area of the triangular prism? Now, to find my surface area of the triangular prism, there's a couple ways you can do it. One way is I can, go back to remember your middle school way of doing it, which is find, the base and height of all my triangular face, my rectangular faces, and you can add it together. Or you can just go ahead and use my formula right here, which to use my formula, I need to first find my area of my base, my perimeter, and my height of my prism. Now, just looking at it, I know my height of my prism here is going to be 12. Okay, I know my perimeter of my base, which my base here, since it's a triangular prism, then that face, that's, that side that does not include the rectangular shape is going to be my basis. So my perimeter of my base here is going to be 5 plus 5 plus 6, and that will give me 16 as my perimeter. Now I need to find what's my area of my triangle. Now let me go ahead and draw this triangle out right here. Okay, I know that this is 5, and this is 6. Now I need to find what's my base and what's my height, so I can use the triangle formula, which is 1/2 base times height. Now, one thing to look into this triangle here is that if you have two sides that are the same, then this means that this is isosceles triangle, right? Now, this is isosceles triangle, then this means that if we go ahead and draw a line in the middle here, then this one and this one is also going to be equal. So therefore, if this whole thing is 6, then this line and this line right here will be 3 and 3. Now, to find my height right here in the middle, all I have to do is I'm going to draw a triangle like this. I'm going to draw half the triangle. I have the 5 here, I have the 3 here. I'm trying to find my height. Now, I know this makes a 90-degree angle because, that's where I draw it from. I want a straight line. And now I'm trying to find the missing height. To find my missing height here, I have to use the Pythagorean theorem, which is the a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I know my c will be 5 because this is the side that's across from my right angle. So this will give me 5 squared, and then my a squared will be 3 squared, and my b squared will be h squared. Now, 3 squared will give me 9, 5 squared will give me 25, and a half plus h squared. To isolate my h squared, I will minus 9 on both sides. And this will give me h squared equals 16. Now, if I h squared equals 16, I will just go ahead and square root both sides so I can cancel out the square here. And my h will be 4, which means my height of my triangle right here is 4. Then I have pretty much, all I needed to figure out my area of my base or my triangle. So I do 1/2. I know my base here of this triangle, this whole triangle that I'm trying to find, is 6. I know my height here is 4. So then I do 4 times 6 divided by 2. That'll give me my area of my base here as 12. Okay, now I have this information, and now I can plug everything into my formula here for my surface area to find my surface area of the whole triangular prism. I'll do surface area equals to two of my bases, because I have two bases here, one right here and one right here. Or I'm going to plug my base value here as 12, plus my perimeter, which is 16, times my height of my prism, which is 12. Now, if you plug in this into the calculator, your value that you will get here will be 216. And since we're measuring area, because surface area is area, the answer here is going to be squared. Okay. Now let's do the next question. It says the box shown is going to have sides wrapped with construction paper while the top and bottom will be painted. How much construction paper will be needed? Now, if you read the question carefully, it's saying that we only need construction paper on the sides. So we don't need it on the top and the bottom, which is my bases. So if we're only trying to find the area, the surface area of my faces, the sides are not the bases, then what we're essentially trying to find here is the lateral area. So let's write down the lateral area formula, which is LA, lateral area, is equals to perimeter times by the height. Now let's find the perimeter of my figure. Now I know this is where is it? Okay, now if I look at this shape right here, this is a rectangular prism, so this means if this is 4 right here, this is going to be 4 right here. Now, the question should mention rectangular prism, which is a mistake that they didn't. Now, if there's 7 right here, then this means this right here will be 7 as well. If this is 4 right here, then this means the opposite side here will also be 4. Now, to find my perimeter of my bases, let me go ahead and draw the shape out for you for the one that I have top. So I have 4 here, 7 here, 7 here. Now to find the perimeter, I'll just add all sides up, which will give me 4 plus 4 plus 7 plus 7. And this will give me 22. Now, this is going to be my perimeter, my P. Then I need to find my height of my prism. Well, my height of my prism here is right here. It's 8. So I have everything I needed. So I'll do LA times my P, which is 22, times my 8, which is my height. And that will give me my lateral area here as 176, and it's going to be centimeter squared because it's about area. Okay. Now let's go to question number C. It says determine the surface area of a triangular prism with the height of 15 and whose base is a right triangle with side lengths 5, 12, and 13. Now let's go ahead and draw this out, okay? So we know, first of all, it's a triangular prism. I know the base is a right triangle. So let me go ahead and draw a right triangle out first, guys. The drawing part might be a little bit difficult. Just, try your best. So this is my right triangle. And I'm going to label, the right angle. And I'm going to go ahead and try to draw the prism out. Just try your best, guys, to draw this. And my best, advice on drawing this is that you're going to draw 2 right angles like this. And then you're just going to connect the quarters together. Okay, this is the best way you can draw it without making it look weird. Now let's label everything we have. We know whose base is a right angle with side lengths of 5, 12, and 13. Now we know with a right angle that my longest side is always going to be a side that's across from my right angle, right? So, therefore, this side right here, this longest side, or the side that's across from my right angle, will be 13. So let me go ahead and write 13 right here. Now the other ones, 5 and 12, it does not matter how you write it. Because, in Pythagorean theorem, A and B, even if it runs out of order, it does not matter. So similar on this one, let me just label it anyone as 5 and anyone as 12. Okay. Then, it also said my triangular prism has a height of 15. So this one right here will be 15. Then it says, let me find my surface area, okay? Now to find my surface area, I need to write out my surface area formula, which is that surface area equals 2 of my bases plus my lateral area, or perimeter times height. Now we need to first find my base, my area of my base, then I need to find my perimeter, and then I need to find my height. Now one thing I know for sure is that my height is going to be 15. It's giving you in the question, right? 15. Another next thing we can find easily is the perimeter of my base. All I have to do is I just do 5 plus 13 plus 12. And that will give us 30. Okay? Then, the most difficult part is just about finding the area of my base. Now first, I need to determine what type of shape is my base. If you look at it, my shape of my base is a triangle. And now, what's my triangle formula? It's 1/2 times the base of my triangle times it by the height. So then I just plug in everything I need. So I will have 1/2, my base is 12, right here, and my height is 5. 5 times 12 gives us 60, divided by 2, that gives us 30 as my area of my base. Now I have everything I needed. I'll just go ahead and plug this in into my formula. So I go ahead and do surface area equals 2 times my base, 30, or my area of my base, 30, plus my perimeter, 30, times it by my height, 15. Now if you plug this into your calculator, you will get your surface area equaling to 510, and it's going to be inches squared. It's going to be squared because we're doing surface area. Okay, let's move on to the next page. Now it says, again, the formula for surface area of prisms and cylinders is going to be SA equals 2 times my area of my base plus my perimeter times my height. And the lateral area is without the bases, or just lateral area equals perimeter times height. Now we're going to look at example 2, and the first question we're going to do here is that we're going to find the total surface area rounded to the nearest 10th place. Now, on this one, we're still trying to find 3 things. We're going to find my base, I'm going to find my perimeter, I'm going to find my height. Now, in order to find my perimeter here though, just so you guys remember, we really didn't really go over this year, but you guys should be learning this in middle school, which is that my perimeter right here of my circle is this formula, which is, we call the perimeter of the circle, we call it as circumcenter. Okay? Now, to find the circumcenter, the formula here is 2 pi r. 2 pi r will give me my circumcenter, or my perimeter of my circle. Now, looking at the picture, I know right away that my r here, based on my picture, will be 12. Will be 6, because 12 is the diameter. R is going to be half of that. So my radius, or my r here, is going to be 6. I know my height of my cylinder is 14, so let me just plug this in, 14. And now we just have to find my area of my base and my perimeter of my base. Now let's go ahead and start to find the perimeter of my base first, because this is something new. Now my perimeter of my base here, which is a circle, is something what we call the circumcenter. So we have to use this formula right here, which is 2 pi r. So I'm going to put in 2 pi r. Now I know my r here is 6, so let me replace this with 6. And now I just solve. I will have 2 times 6, it will give me 12, and I'll leave the pi here just for now. Guys, whenever you guys are doing these questions, always put the pi into the calculator until the very end, even if the answer says rounded to the nearest 10th place. Because if you do the pi too early, your answer is always going to be somehow a little bit off. So always just leave it until the very end. Now, that's going to be my perimeter, or my circumcenter of my shape. So I'm going to put 12 pi right here. Now I need to find my area of my base here, which, if I look at it, my base here is a circle. So this means for my area of my base here, I had to use pi r squared. This is my formula for finding the area of my circle. So now I just plug in everything I needed. So I have pi times my r, which is 6, squared. And this will give me 36 pi. So let me go and write 36 pi right here. Now once I have everything I needed, I'm going to now go ahead and use my formula right here, which is going to be surface area equals 2 times my area of my base, which is 36 pi in this case, plus my perimeter, which is 12 pi in this case, times my height, which is going to be 14 in this case. Now, if we plug in this in into calculator, you should get 72 pi plus 168 pi. Now, since the answer is rounded to the nearest 10th place, you do have to actually solve for the actual answer, meaning you have to put the pi into your calculator. And this means my value at the end will be rounded to the nearest whole place will be, rounded to the nearest 10th place will be 754. And hold on, let me go and calculate. Okay. So now if I do 72 pi plus 168 pi, this will give me 753.98. Now, it will give me something like this and on, but if it's rounded to the nearest 10th place, then this means I'll look at my 10th place, and I'll look at the 100th place number. If the 100th place number is greater than 5, then I have to round it up, which means this will become 754, like I said in the beginning, okay? Now, let's take a look at the next question, which is question number 11. Now, it says we're going to find the lateral area. And we're going to leave my answers in terms of pi. This means this time we're not putting the pi into my calculator. Now, to find my lateral area of this cylinder here, I need to find, lateral area is equals perimeter times the height. Now, if I look at my base here, this is a circle. So this means my perimeter of a circle, I have to use this formula right here, which is the circumcenter. Circumcenter is the name for perimeter of a circle. Now, my perimeter here, or my circumcenter, is going to be 2 pi r. Okay, so now I need to plug in everything I needed. I know I have 2 pi, and I know my r here is 6. 2 times 6 gives us 12, and since we're leaving our answer in terms of pi, we just leave it as 12 pi. And that is my perimeter of my circle, or my base. Then I have to multiply this by my height, like it says in my equation right here. So I need to find my height, and by looking at the picture, I know my height here is 10. So now I have everything I needed. I know that my lateral area will equals to 12 pi times 10, and this will give me 120 pi. And I'll just leave my answers as this because my answer says leave in terms of pi, and this will be feet square. And by the way, for the previous question, I did not put the units here. It's going to be units squared because there's no any feet or inches given to you. You're just going to put units squared for the previous one. For this one, on question B, you will put feet squared. Okay. Moving on to the last question we have, it says a paint roller, well, for some reason it looks like a cake, but has a diameter of 2.5. If it has a diameter of 2.5, then this means my radius here will be exactly half of this, which is 2.5 divided by 2, which means my radius here will be 1.25. Now, it says which is 6 inches long, so this means my cylinder here is going to be 6 inches. Now, what area does the roller cover in one full term? What this means is asking you to find my surface area. Because I'm not trying to find, because when I roll the thing, I will not use this round area right here. I will only use this area that's in purple, right? So, in order to find how much is covered in one full term, I just had to find the surface area of just the lateral area. Or I'm just trying to find the lateral area. So, let me go and write my lateral area formula down, which is LA equals to perimeter times my height. Now, in order to find my perimeter, I need to find what type of base do I have. Well, I have a circle. So this means my perimeter for the circle is the circumference, which is going to be 2 pi r. So my perimeter that I have to use to find is 2 pi r. This means I need to first find my r, which I already did right here. So I now plug in. So I did 2 times 1.25 times pi. And this will give me 2.5 pi. Okay. Then what I will do next is that once I have my perimeter, I need to multiply this. I need to multiply this by my height here, which is going to be 6. So I do 2.5 pi times by 6. And I have to put in the calculator, and then we're going to round it to the nearest 10th place. Now, if I go ahead and do this in the calculator, I do 2.5 pi and multiply by 6. This answer rounded to the nearest 10th place will be 47.1. And it's going to be inch square. And that's all the lesson. Please let me know if you have any questions.